Hello everybody, it's Mo on the go with another show. How are you doing? Woo! Today we're talking preparing for marriage. Hey, faith is not enough, folks. But we can start with intro. Alright, let's dance, guys. The final say. Jehovah has 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 the final say. My life around, Jehovah turn my life around. He makes a way where there is no way. Has the final say. He'll turn your life around, guys. Jehovah has the final say. Alright, guys. How are you? This is Mo on the go. Actually, this is Mo on the flow. Alright. So how have you been? How's your day? Let's hope this thing doesn't fall today. Hey, I think today, of all days, it's going to definitely be stressed at what happened to my boss. This camera is probably asking, what happened to my boss? Oh, who wants to volunteer to be my IT guy? Hey, you can see how I'm suffering. Oh. So guys, how is it? How is it going? How is it going? How is it flowing? I saw yesterday, I did a vlog. And all of you were like, woo, I forgot my notes. One second. Woo. Here we go. All right. You know, yesterday I was so surprised, because I did a vlog about my experience, my experience in terms of, how I got married and how I decided to ditch single living for married life. Sorry, I'm catching my breath. Obviously, I need to dance more. So I did this vlog and I was so surprised by how, what a great response I got. Thank you guys. Thank you for your comments. I really appreciate them. It's so nice to know that I'm making a difference in your lives. And it actually motivated me. And I said to myself, you know what? For as long as I have the fire burning in me, I'm going to talk about this issue. Because apparently it is an issue that affects many women and many men and many single parents and many singles for whatever reason. But for whatever reason, people don't want to talk about it. We talk about all kinds of things, we prepare ourselves for everything. We can talk about education, our plans, our goals. We can talk about careers. We can talk about our business investments, our business plans, our visions for our life. But we don't want to talk about to each other anyway. We don't really talk about the things that matter so much to us, such as our personal relationships. So you know what? I thought to myself, you know what? Hey, maybe this is my calling, and I didn't even realize it. This is one of the things I'd like to actually consider and concentrate on and focus on, because obviously it's making a difference. It's making a difference in some people's lives. And for those few people that it touches, even if it just touches one or two of you, it will make a difference in my life. But of course, the more it touches, the better. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about how I prepared myself for marriage and how I discovered that faith by itself was not enough. There's this saying that faith without works is dead. Literally, I experienced exactly that. That faith without works was completely dead. So, I'll try not to make this too long so that, at least, we can, focus and get with it. So how do you prepare yourself for marriage? The first thing you have to realize is that preparation for marriage takes deliberate planning and strategizing. And when I say strategizing, I don't say it in a negative sense. I say it in a very positive way, in terms of if you want something to succeed, you want to plan for it to succeed. Because there's this saying that says that failing to plan is planning to fail. It's really, really true. You can actually totally, totally fail if you fail to plan. Okay? So the first thing I did when I was preparing for marriage was I envisioned my perfect scenario, my ideal scenario for marriage. I looked at myself and I said, when I close my eyes, what do I see? I see myself as a married lady. Very idealistic, in the hands of a very tall and handsome gentleman, wearing a 3-piece suit and, being all ooh. And here I am, Miss Princess, almost with a princess tiara on my head. He's opening the doors and I'm sitting down and, he's treating me like a little queen. And what else? Oh, yeah, he's dishing out all the money and I'm thinking, woo, what a great guy I have here. He's a rich man. He's generous. He's all, his attention is all on me. And I'm just like the center of his universe. And he's also the center of my universe, and I'm being this wonderful woman in the kitchen. I'm cooking for him, also cooking for the family. I have these 3 lovely children. I have this big, huge house, and I have this doorman with a doorbell. And when people come and ring the doorbell, they say, "Ooh, come see the madam in the coffee room." Talking about idealization, So I dreamed. I dared to dream anyway. I knew there's no way that this thing is possible or real. But I didn't spare myself the opportunity to dream. Because I knew even if it's idealistic, I don't know what proportion of it I'll be able to achieve. So, hey, let me just dream. Let me not minimize my dreams. So I allowed myself to dream, I saw us growing old together, traveling the world. I saw us, looking after people, going to nursing homes and all kinds of things, and, helping people, helping children's homes, helping people out. I saw him in a position of power, and, I was just admiring him, and he was looking at me and introducing me as his wife, and very proud to show me off, and all kinds of things, Hey, talking about dreaming, I dreamt. I dreamt about my in-laws being completely so in love with me, how I was getting along with them, and how when they brought problems, my husband would always defend me. I dreamt, and I dreamt, and I dreamt, and I saw myself in all kinds of things. The next thing I did was to narrow down. I narrowed down and I said to myself, okay, girl, there's no way you're going to achieve this. That he tall, handsome, rich, perfect business, perfect gentleman, perfect in-laws, perfect picket house, and I've got these perfect kids, and I've got, this perfect car, and I've got this perfect life, and I'm still shapely and looking cool and all this. Where? I decided, let me narrow it down to the things that I can, the deal breakers, because all of us have our thresholds, yeah? So the second thing I did was to narrow down, and I said to myself, hey, what are the things that I can really live with, and what are the things that I really cannot live without? So I narrowed down on the deal breakers, such as, for example, I didn't want somebody who was an alcoholic. I didn't want somebody who was a smoker. That was me, not necessarily you. But I didn't want somebody who was like a chain smoker, alcoholic. I didn't want somebody who was not exposed. I didn't want somebody who was overly traditional. Yet I didn't want somebody who was overly modern, that he didn't respect tradition. I didn't want somebody who was not working, who was not employed, or if not employed, at least had his own business. I knew, that I wanted somebody who was not necessarily very religious, but spiritual. I needed somebody with an even temperament, somebody who was not going to hit me. Domestic violence is something I feared. What? So I narrowed down to those deal breakers. I said somebody who's going to hit me, punch me, somebody with a bad temper. I don't want to deal with such a person, yeah? Somebody who was a smoker, overly drinker. I didn't want that. I needed, I said these are just deal breakers. Then I identified the thresholds, the things that I can actually live with. Me as Mo, what can I live with? Which may be different from what other women can live with, what other partners can live with. And I said to myself, okay, well, what if he doesn't have a job? What if this guy doesn't have a job, and what if he, maybe he's in between jobs? What if his business is not doing well? What if? I said to myself, you know what? A man who is not necessarily employed is somebody who I probably would not want to date. The reason being that I think that he will, because of the fact that I myself have work and I have employment, he may tend to have some sort of a grudge against me. You know, he may appear to be happy, but he may not be happy, because it would look really odd if I'm the one who's taking him out, doing everything for him. Everywhere we go, I'm the one who's paying all the bills. Anything we do, if he comes to my house, then it means I'm the one who's feeding him. He's not able to even buy a piece of chicken, a piece of meat. No, no, no. I needed somebody who had a source of income, not necessarily employed, but somebody who had at least something. But what if he didn't have the ideal job? What if he was a hustler? What if, he was, at least hustling? I said, absolutely, I would definitely go for a guy who's hustling. He may not be at my level economically, but, as long as I can see that he's making the effort, he's hustling every day, he's out there trying to find a way to eke out a living, trying to find a way to make money and bring it home, trying to make a way to look after himself. That is fantastic, because it shows to me his motivation. His motivation is not to sit on the couch and hang around and sleep all day. At least that guy is working, he's trying, his hustling. Yeah? So I said to myself, if he's a hustler, I don't care whether he's making furniture on Gong Road. Honestly, as long as he's hustling, then in that case, I can help to build him up. Who knows, maybe I'm the one who's going to build that workshop that he's going to have, because he has the skill. If this man has a skill, it means that, we can build each other up. He can also show me, how to be a businesswoman, a better businesswoman, because he knows how to maybe handle his clients better than me, whatever. It's good to learn from each other. Okay. So what else did I say to myself? Okay, that's not a deal breaker. So I said, no, that's not a deal breaker. As long as he's a hustler, it's not a deal breaker. Okay, then I looked at his temperament. Is he the kind of person who's hot-tempered? I said, no, that's a real deal breaker. I identified the thresholds I can live with. I can live with a man who's independent. I cannot live with a man who depends on his friends for advice all the time. A man who doesn't have his own mind, a man who doesn't make up his own, decisions. I can't live with that. So I said to myself, a man who's always seeking after his friend's advice for everything in our relationship, no, that's not gonna work. Can I deal with a man who's untidy? Yes, I can deal with a man who's untidy, who throws his socks everywhere. Yeah, I can deal with that. I can figure that one. That one is something that we can work on together. Personal hygiene. A person who is dirty and stinky, no. A man who already knows how to look after himself and at least, take care of his hygiene, has a shower every day. That's somebody at least who I can accept. I can't accept somebody who has a beard that is overgrown and doesn't care about his looks, because I care about my looks. Why shouldn't he care about his, Okay, what about a man who's careless with money, who's a spender, who wants to show off and show me how he has money, how he has properties, how he has this? Absolutely not. I said to myself, that is a threshold I can't handle. I don't need somebody to be showing me what he has, what he, based on, to try to catch me through money. Material possessions, I said to myself, that's a trap. I don't want that. At the same time, I didn't want somebody who didn't even have any goals or dreams, to own. If he has the possessions, that's all good, but he doesn't have to show it off or to try to use it as a way to trap me into, being with him. Okay, so what else did I think about? What about what? Happy-go-lucky, somebody who doesn't plan for his life. No, I couldn't deal with that. I said, no, I need somebody who has at least got a plan, a dream, somebody who's also dreaming like me. So the next thing I decided to do was to prepare myself. Of course, I'm preparing myself. Meanwhile, I'm busy preparing myself. Like I said yesterday, I'm trying to tone up. I'm trying to look good. I'm trying to do my hair. I'm trying to look attractive. I'm also trying to be understanding. I'm trying to be more patient. I'm trying to be not as hard as sometimes I can be. Try to be understanding. Look at the environment in which we are, the economic environment, and try to be understanding in that sense. Also to try to narrow down my perspective, because now I'm older, I can't get a guy who's exactly, all muscular and everything, like when I was younger and all that. No, I mean, this man, as long as I know that he has looked after himself health-wise, I don't want somebody who's sitting in ICU. Of course, I need somebody, well, if he happens to be sick while I'm with him, that's fine, but not necessarily somebody who has, a real serious health issue. I knew I couldn't deal with it, but perhaps other people could. The next thing I decided to do was to put on my spouse lens. They talk about gender lens. Some of us are working in development. So when they tell you to put on a gender lens, that what that means is, you look at everything in terms of, how would women cope with this? So in this particular case, I'll be like, how would a spouse be? So I look at a man. If I look at a man, I think about, what kind of a spouse would he be? I start looking at how men are looking after their wives. What kind of a person is this person? If he's a married guy, how is he treating his wife? If he's a single person, what is his potential for treating me right, or for wanting someone like me? What is his perspective? How does he speak? Does he speak with authority? Does he speak with disdain for women? Does he look down on women? Does he have condescending words towards women? Or does he have encouraging words? Is he softer? Is he kinder? Those kinds of things. So guys, that's all I'm going to say for now, because I don't want this thing to be too long like yesterday, yeah? And I want to upload it for you. So what I'll do is that every day I'll try to give you, new insight into marriage and how to prepare yourself. We look today at 1, dream about it. 2, narrow down on the issues. 3, identify the thresholds that you can deal with. 4, prepare yourself as you know. And 5, put on your spouse lens. Look at everything in the perspective of a spouse. Look at men outside, or look at a girl outside there, a lady outside there, and say, what kind of wife would this lady make? What kind of a husband would this person make? Yeah? And start evaluating and assessing people. Start really looking at them, and don't ignore people. So on that note, I wish you the best. I love you. Take care. Have a great Friday, and put on your spouse lens today. Toodoo!